in purpose. In other words, marriage cannot be constituted by irresponsible people. And lastly, you talked about that one of the purposes of marriage is for companionship. That is why two people of different mindsets coming together to live in unity. So right about now, we're going to call our first guest speaker. When Daddy started, he said we have resource persons that have been successful in marriage. And when he said that, I was very happy to hear that, because in such seminars such as this, you cannot call people to speak, people that their marriages are shaking. Like in law, we have a Latin maxim that said, "Never that quid non habet." You don't give what you don't have. It's not possible. You don't give what you don't have. Never that quid non habet. So on that point now, I want to call on our first guest speaker. She's going to talk about the topic thriving in relationship. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together as I welcome Professor Mrs. Justina Ehiame. Put your hands together for her as she walks majestically to the podium. You can do better than that. You can do better than that.
Because I'm not a pastor. Yes. I'm only a guest speaker. So I will speak as a guest speaker. The resident pastor, Pastor Columbus Rabo, Christ Choosing Church of God International, Manchester branch, members of the marriage seminar planning committee, members of the high table. Well, I sat before. I guess that's the high table. If it is not, pardon me. Okay. Everyone here present and those online, ladies and gentlemen. I hope we haven't reversed that to gentlemen and ladies. I've always known ladies and gentlemen. It is with profound sense of gratitude and humility I stand before you this hour to talk on the seminar topic I'll be given, thriving in relationship. Our pastor had given us a very solid foundation that even if we have to discharge ourselves from here, we have a lot to take home. However, I have a definite topic to talk on, and it is thriving in relationship. I want to understand this relationship to be married relationship because we are talking about, a marriage seminar. And so, to thrive means to grow, develop vigorously, and prosper. That is the simple meaning of thrive. But thriving in relationships simply describes a state of flourishing, success, and active, continuous improvements. Just as the first speaker has said, marriage relationship is a lifetime relationship. And so it is expedient that that relationship thrives. And thriving in relationship has a lot at its table. And so we are going to be looking at some of those things that can bring about thriving in relationship and sustaining that improvement. So thriving in marriage relationship is about moving past simply coexisting. There are marriages that are simply coexisting. But once it is the thriving, it moves past the mere coexisting kind of marriage and actively building emotional safety. Every marriage that thrives builds emotional safety. Trust is built, connection is built, and this requires clear communication, intentional daily habits, deliberate daily habits, and the emotional nurturing to repair relationships after conflicts. Transitioning from surviving to thriving takes daily dedication. There are actionable habits you can implement to strengthen the foundation of a thriving marriage relationship. And here, some of the indices have been outlined. One of them is building emotional capital. How do we build emotional capital? Now, the pastor has told us that necessarily marriage brings together two responsible adults. Two responsible adults. And these two responsible adults must be intentional concerning the kind of home they want to build. And one way to build such an intentional home is by building emotional relationship and emotional capital relationship. How do we build emotional relationship? Most often I tell people, marry your friend. And some will tell me, how do I marry my friend? No, that's not emotional. It is better you marry your friend. But if you cannot marry your friend, make your partner your friend in marriage. It is important. Because it is when you have a friend in your partner that you can build your emotional life in a very strong manner. And so, you also can build, emotional capital in your partner. How do you build emotional capital in your partner? Now, I understand that